Yancy, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes,
Yep.
loud and clear. Thanks, Jetane.
Fabulous. And am I on the right presentation mode?
Yes, you are.
Fabulous. Yancy, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for being allowed to share. Throughout, I'm so sorry that I wasn't being able to attend all of the presentations, but I was lucky enough to see some of the presentations. And Yancy, I hope it's okay that you would allow me to, I have changed my presentation slightly. Because I have seen that some of my colleagues has presented. And for today, I want to talk about challenges, but not just in IP management, but maybe the entire innovation ecosystem. So, thank you for
That is
inviting.
fine.
Oh, awesome.
No problem. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, colleagues. I will start off with my very rudimentary idea of an innovation ecosystem. And in my innovation ecosystem, which is not the ultimate one, I've broken it down into a few key components, calling it knowledge creation, identifying the idea, protecting the idea, and developing this idea to some sort of product, process, or service, collaborate and partner on this product, license or sell this product, and then scale up and implement this product for benefits. So if we look at knowledge creation, I think some of our previous speakers have mentioned it. Knowledge and skills are incredibly important in the management of intellectual property, technology transfer, and any research outputs, be it from NEXA, ARC, Council for Geoscience, or some of our speakers, Mintech, some of the speakers of tomorrow will be NHLS. And I believe that not one person can address, or one institution can address all of these challenges. It is for us to work as together in an ecosystem to manage and alleviate all of these challenges. My office, the NIPMO, National Intellectual Property Management Office, which is in the department, within the Department of Science and Innovation, contributes to this upskilling through allowing trainees to come through attending summer schools, online courses on intellectual property, innovation policy workshops. And you can see here that first and foremost, for us to have the knowledge generation and identify that idea, some training in intellectual property and technology transfer is required. If we go on to identifying the idea, the NIPMO statistics shows that our universities and science councils, these are 26 universities, as well as 11 science councils, which include Council for Geoscience, Mintech, NEXA, and so forth, NRF as well, has reported over the period of about 11 years, I think it's 11 years, over 3,000 invention disclosures. Now, I'm pausing here to show you that our universities and research councils are doing magnificent work, and we've seen it from our previous speaker as well. Not only are they identifying the idea, but in this snapshot that you are seeing, it is not only that it's under evaluation, but they have moved towards protecting that, licensing pre-revenue and commercializing that idea, which I will take on a bit more in the next slides. We also then see that we need to, in our innovation ecosystem, protect the idea. Notoriously, protecting the idea is very difficult. I therefore referred to the IP and TT survey, which is a survey that is undertaken by the Department of Science and Innovation, where all universities and science councils responded to in the last survey. And we can see here, if we only focus on intellectual property as one form of intellectual property, that 81% of our public institutions has an active patent portfolio. We saw that there was an increase in these disclosures. So we're identifying more ideas. We saw that 78% of institutions reported at least one patent application, and that the total number of patents granted more than doubled over the period 2014 to 2018. So we can see some growth in identifying and protecting our ideas. But you know as good as I know that protecting intellectual property, be it a design, a trademark, a patent, or a plant breeder's right, as we heard from Dr. Motsi, is relatively expensive. And therefore, as part of our contribution towards this ecosystem, NIPMO provides to our universities and research councils a rebate. This rebate is an IP fund rebate where you can get up to 50% of the cost that you've spent for IP prosecution and maintenance costs. And here are the statistics that you can see on how much our institutions have spent on protecting their ideas over the course of 11 years. And we will provide, as the Department of Science and Innovation, up to 50%. If we have enough funding, sometimes we don't always make that 50% mark, but we try to do that. Let's go back to our ecosystem. We have now knowledge we created knowledge where we train some. We've identified the ideas, and we see that our universities, as well as our science councils, are doing excellent jobs in that. We are protecting our ideas. But now we need to develop the idea to a product. My colleague Brigitte has spoken about some of the challenges with that early stage funding, and funding will always be an issue. So what is NIPMO doing to contribute to the solution to this challenge? As part of our intervention, we provide funding to universities and science councils to equip them with a technology transfer office. Now, this office is the central office that gets up all the ideas, see if the idea is going to work, and then implement them, license them, and get them out there for the benefit of South Africans. Here you can see that over the course of 2011 to 2023, we entered into over 130 agreements, distributed over 340 million rand, created over 210 contract positions, because this funding that you see is to fund the actual salaries of the people within those offices. But it went further than just salaries. We realized that we need to incentivize and equip our creators. So in 2019, 25 of our best top IP creators at our institutions received a monetary award to further their invention. We also realized that funding a human is not all that it is required. We need operational costs, and we need technology transfer activity funding as well. And therefore, NIPMO has since 2019 provided this funding for your market assessment, for your techno-feasibility study, and therefore trying to assist the office to develop the idea. So this office will then also work with the TIAs. They will work with other funding agencies to try to get the idea, further funding, further product development, and not changing that idea into a prototype or maybe a product that can be licensed. But we can't do this alone, and collaboration and partnerships is very important, and we've heard that from numerous speakers. But according to the survey, we saw in the survey as at 2018, that our institutions said that the engagement with industry, formal and informal, is very important. 92% said that it's very important. However, only 11% said that it's functioning effectively. 79% of our respondents said a forum to discuss national technology needs is very important, but it's only 14% effective, functioning effectively. And a national forum or platform to showcase our technologies, 72% says that it's very important, and only 31% said that it's functioning effectively. So when we're talking about ecosystem, I do believe that this is quite an area that we can work on to bring people together, to bring people around the same table, to make that connections. Based on the findings that we had here, the Department of Science and Innovation in all earnest started and enhanced what is called the Innovation Bridge portal. This is an online portal that aims to virtually create that connections, create that collaborations, link up the innovator with the entrepreneur, with the investor, with the support program. The Department of Science and Innovation was also very fortunate to have the Department of Small Business Development join in to this initiative, as well as the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission, or CIPC. So my plea to you today is to join this ecosystem so that we can enhance this collaboration, partnership. Because if I have a product and I don't know who to give it to, it's a problem. If you have a need and I'm not addressing your need, it's a problem. Creating that ecosystem is the only way that we can further enhance technologies coming from South Africa. But there's also then that we want to sell or license our product. In this regard, from the NIPMO data, I'm very happy to show that over the past 3 years, various disclosures, you remember that identify your idea, report your idea, 20 disclosures were licensed for the first time by 5 institutions. The year thereafter, 17 by 6 institutions. And we saw that a total over this 3-year period that 46 disclosures were licensed for the first time by 27% of our publicly funded institutions, which is showing that our ideas are getting out there. But it doesn't mean we have to stop. We have to always improve and do more. When we look at assignments, this is now the selling of our ideas. We saw in terms of the legislation, the IPR Act, universities as well as our science councils need approval before they can sell off their idea locally or offshore. And through this NIPMO data, we can see that, yes, there has been a steady request for assignments. What was fascinating for me, if you just look at the local assignments, which is the blue, 48% of those assignments were transferred to university, startup, or spin-out companies. 9% was transferred to small and medium enterprises, 9% inter-institutional, and 14% to the IP creators itself, showing that when we are empowering our local community, that quite a big majority of the assignments are going to very worthy recipients. We also saw from the IP&TT survey that not a lot of startup companies were formed over the period 2014 to 2018, but that 22% of our institutions reported that a licensed IP became available to the public. In other words, your tax money was used to conduct R&D. We identified it, we protected it, we developed it, and now we collaborated and was able to license it so that the product comes available for commercial use for everyone's benefit. We also saw that there was an increase of 67% in the reported IP transaction revenue from intellectual property held within our institutions. I think I saw a slide from Cynthia where she showed you the revenue that has been increasing for ARC. But it's not just that the revenue is staying with our universities and science councils. No, the revenue that they accrue, they are legally obligated to share with their IP creators. And there you can see in the last column that over 23 million rand of commercialization revenue was shared with over 270 IP creators and IP enablers. But if we look at the more challenging side of this ecosystem, we asked our institutions, how important is the support from management? And 92% said that it's very important. However, about 40% said that it's functioning effectively. And support in this ecosystem from executives, from the environment is so important. We asked whether our universities and science councils are able to negotiate on a license. Can they actually do and start up a spin-out company? Although they said that it's very important, it was not functioning that effectively. And you will see here that the three, what I would regard the three most critical reasons or important factors for impact, creating a startup, establishing incubators for our SMMEs, for our companies to grow their skills, to be mentored, or to have space for this incubation. Over 60% of our respondents said that none of these are present, which is quite worrying and something that we as the Department of Science and Innovation are definitely looking at. Now it comes to scale and implement this product. Colleagues, I'm very happy to report on behalf of all our universities and science councils that we have numerous startup companies, products that has resulted and has successfully been established. We just heard from our previous speaker from NRF. They have a startup company. We have startup companies from TUT, Rhodes University. And this is only a small sample of companies being established from intellectual property, employing people, contributing to our economy, and feeding it back into our society. I have to, and this is, I'm a government official, but I have to just show you the products that's in the market from University of Pretoria and CUT and UCT at the bottom, ARC as well. We see the apples that they are bringing in, the Joybell grapes that they are bringing in. Lumkani was a device to help with shack fires. Brew Spoon from CUT was a way to create a brewing method to brew coffee in a more effective way. This product is on the shelves at any outdoor store. And UP has a no-buzz sock, which is an insecticidal sock that you can wear so that mosquitoes don't bite you when you go out for a hike, which is available on Take-A-Lot. We also see CPUT's product for the Omega Kero E, which I believe, I'm not sure if it's available currently, but available and Dischem at one point. So we're seeing these implementation and these products reaching markets. But it's not just in South Africa. We've seen international success from our publicly funded research. Most recently, Lexi Hearing, which is from University of Pretoria, got nominated as Time 100's most influential companies. We all know Matosa, which has got the Xhosa-inspired clothes, which was, by the way, worn by Michelle Obama. He was a student from Nelson Mandela University, and the Technology Transfer Office actually bought his first sewing machine for him so that he can get that a little bit ahead in his now international empire. We also saw, with Cynthia presenting earlier today, we saw that Joybells is a grape variety that's sold in the Europe and UK. And I have to mention Jonker Salesplane, who was the recipient of the SME Innovation Award at this year's NSTF Awards, is a spin-out company from Northwest University, making groundbreaking international breaking international barriers. So colleagues, as I end off, I want to say that this is an ecosystem. And yes, there are lots of areas that we can improve in, but we have to improve the entire ecosystem, our innovative mindset, and each component of that ecosystem for us all to thrive. And so I'm happy to say that the third national survey is currently underway. And I am hoping that some of these things that I've reported to you today will have improved and not created even worse challenges for commercialization of intellectual property and making ultimately an impact in society. So with that, Jansi, thank you so much.